Okay, moving on to item number 12.6. Recommendation that the Village of Coos Coopee Tax Exemption Bylaw number 1083/2025 be granted final reading and adoption. Seconded by Councillor Johnston. Discussion? I'm going to call the question then. All those in favor?
In favor.
And Councillor Woodall is in favor via phone, and so that is carried. Wonderful. That is all we needed you for. I hope that you're feeling better. I'm glad that you didn't come here and make us sick, though. I really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it. I will see you guys in, I guess 2 weeks for the next meeting.
Yeah, sounds good. Get lots of rest. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we'll go get Councillor Ravel. You just want to put that back over there for me. All right.
We're ready.
We're ready whenever you are, Councillor Ravel. Wonderful, thank you. All right, moving on to item number 12.7. I keep just...
Recommend that council amend consolidated municipal fees and charges amendment bylaw number 1079/2025 by removing the lifetime dog tag provision and give the third reading as amended.
Seconded by Councillor Ravel. Discussion? Councillor Ravel?
My understanding is this lifetime dog piece ended up somehow in it, and
Yeah.
it really wasn't associated with anything, and
Yeah. You are understanding that correctly.
yeah, it really didn't exist as a thing.
Nope. And so we're just fixing it. So thank you so much to council and staff for, discovering that and bringing it to the attention of staff, and for staff being so quickly to turn it around. So awesome job. Thank you guys. Okay, I'm going to call the question then. All those in favor? And that is carried. Wonderful. Moving on to administrative reports. 13.1, recommend that council receive the tax sale report for information. Seconded by Councillor Ravel. All those in favor? And that is carried. Wonderful. Okay. Item number, this is the report from Josh, right?
That's correct.
Yes, carry on.
Your worship.
Okay, 13.2, recommend. I'm going to do this one for discussion, just in case anybody has any questions while we have Mr. Kiriotti in the room. 13.2, recommend that council receive the report for discussion. Can I get a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Ravel. Thank you. Discussion? Councillor Ravel?
How does the fiscal health of the village look like for this current fiscal? I know that because we're sitting in October, we're almost at the end of the year, but I'm seeing a lot of deficit numbers, but obviously that might just be because we have a slim period left in the year.
Right. Overall, still trending positive and on budget. Couple of pieces, I guess, maybe kind of that over-under piece that you're talking about in terms of the deficit side of things. So if we go to like the second page, the 2025 to 2029 with the Schedule A at the top. Revenue-wise, the one I guess to talk about primarily there would be the government transfer piece, where you see an under budget of 1.6 million right now. Primarily, that one is primarily due to the lagoon project. So as work is finished, revenue is recognized there, and grants received as work is completed. So that project on a whole is on budget, and will be completed on budget. So any revenue that's needed there from a government transfer perspective just gets deducted off at kind of the last line item down there, the capital sewer fund. So that's the 532,000 at the very bottom of that report is what's been billed as of last week. We've had additional billing since then. So lagoon project on budget, the net effect is going to be an on budget piece there from a capital perspective. So we'd expect the government transfer piece to fall in line there at that point as well. Other than that, nothing really crazy. There's some work we need to do just in terms of there's some pieces in relation to some staffing that was miscoded, that needs to be recoded to a different account, primarily between what's in the government functions section, kind of middle of the report, the transportation line item versus the protective services line item has to do with some wages that were recorded to the wrong program. So those will get fixed here. Trina and I have had some discussions around those. General government is trending a little higher. That's related to some tech investments and some council training pieces that have happened this year. But still well within the realm of coming in from a budget.
Just if I may interject, Mr. Kira, the technical bit was when we added in maintenance X for all of the iPads for our public works guys. That was a bit of an additional expense that we weren't really budgeting for the year, but has had a positive outcome for public works. And then the other one is the e-scribe system, which is slowly coming into procedure and ever so slowly. Mr. Ho has been doing a phenomenal job.
That's correct.
I am going to be coming in the next week and kind of sitting down with him, but that's eventually getting us to that online voting that council is of course looking for. And so this year that tech stuff's going to be high, but then next year it's going to be leveling out to what it normally is.
Thank you. Your worship. Sewer services, the other function there, trending at 90%. There is some outfall investigation and flow meter related pieces that are tied to the capital project that just need to be reallocated to the capital side of it. That will bring that piece in line. Overall revenue over expenses, 3/4 of the way through the year. Expenses at 74% of revenue, which is pretty much in line from a budget perspective. So it will be curious to see. There was in the initial forecast in the adopted budget back, I guess in April, March, whenever we did that, I can't remember now. There was a reserve transfer to balance at that point that we'll be curious to see kind of where that does need to align in terms of that balanced reserve transfer and how that plays out. And there's an amendment that we will have to do with respect to the potential for some land acquisition sides of things as well that we've talked about before. So all in all, I think we're in a great place and are entering into budget season again, and all that planning, that perpetual swinging door, so to speak. So connecting with auditors here tomorrow, actually. There's some work we're doing just to kind of clean up some background process pieces from a records keeping perspective. Finalizing some of the capital pieces with Trina and the urban engineering firms and Procore and those types of things. And then just some work just to clean up some record keeping, like I was saying. And then prelim audit starts at the end of November. So they come in and do kind of their initial first testing that starts, I think, the week of the 22nd or something. So yeah, no, pretty happy.
It's looking great. You've done a wonderful job. It's so nice to, get these quarterly updates from you and your team. I know it isn't just you, that there's a whole team that works behind you on behalf of the village of Pouce Coupe. So a big thank you to you and each and every one of them. You guys are doing a phenomenal job, and it's been a pretty good year actually. So
yes.
I've been very thankful for Josh as well. We just formalized a couple of months back the fractional CFO relationship that we've got with Core, and the give and take and the flexibility that he's had on the many curveballs that we've thrown him, or that I've thrown him, has been really, really appreciated. So thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And
Appreciate
who
working with you guys.
just found Duncan when we had that conversation all those months ago about the idea of a fractional CFO? You'd be sitting in this chair.
I don't.
I know. Who'd have thunk? One friendship conversation, what it can lead to. So, yeah, no, I do sometimes think about that. I think
Life is strange.
life is strange.
There's even conversations Duncan and I have had kind of over the last couple of years leading to this place that I never thought I would see him in this role as well. So
Isn't it? Life is weird, I know.
It is,
Yeah. Awesome. Any other questions for Mr. Curiata? No? Okay. All those in favor? And that is carried. Wonderful job. We are going to move on to reports. So Councillor Johnston is dying for
I
me.
actually have not much to say today.
I
No?
don't know what I've been doing in the last 2 weeks.
Did anything come from museum regarding?
I haven't heard from Les. I was gonna reach out to him this week, actually, see if I can get together, see how
Things are going?
Yeah,
Okay, sounds
and
good.
I'll get together with him and I'll report back.
Wonderful, thank you. Okay, Councillor Rappel, you're up.
Honestly, the winter's coming, so it's been a lot of farm preparations, and the Legion is preparing for Remembrance Day. I know that's not related directly to my duties here, but it's part of the village's.
I'll be there or we swear, for sure.
I heard that you're working on your speech, and I appreciate that. And
Kind of.
we're trying to make sure we got all the pieces, so they're going out. Anyways, you know, the usual stuff with that, and then preparing for some other fun stuff going on. But other than that, nothing related specifically to the village. I have, anyways, we'll leave it there.
Wonderful, thank you. Councillor Wall is away with notice. He did attempt to attend, and I appreciate his efforts. Councillor Whittle is also away, not feeling well with notice. Moving to me, I totally forgot my microphone in my car. I've been doing a bunch of different things, but 3 things I do need to bring to the attention of council. 2 things are coming from my PRRD meeting that was held last Thursday. So during the meeting, a conversation regarding the moratorium on the post office stuff definitely came up. I would just like to let council know that the Peace River Regional District is going to be writing a letter of concern regarding the closure of small rural post offices. They are going to be sending forward the letter to the NP, the Premier, all the MLAs as well. I did let them know that this was a conversation that had happened around this council chamber, and that we would be sending off letters. I know that that was approved at the last, was that approved to?
It's in, I believe, another portion of the meeting worksheet.
In?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And so that's definitely something that is being talked about throughout the region. And there's definitely a lot of concern as well. And so I think that if council was to move forward with any letters of concern as well, it would be greatly appreciated. Another thing that also came up was resulting around UBCM. So there was a resolution, I think it's resolution 51. I forgot my notes.
I'm sorry for your worship.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Buckner.
Printed 2 copies.
You're the bestest. So there was a ER1 was an extraordinary resolution to amend the UBCM bylaws to streamline the resolution process. This was brought forward. What this basically states is that therefore be it resolved that section 15C of the UBCM bylaws will be amended to add the text in bold type as follows: to enable a resolutions committee to apply filters to determine which resolutions may be included for consideration by the membership at the convention. And it lists off a bunch of different things. So there are resolutions shall remain an annual resolution regularly submitted to the convention, and shall determine which annual resolutions will be included for the consideration by the membership of the convention. I am extremely concerned about the resolution that was brought forward and appears to be supported on the floor at UBCM while you guys were there. It is I'm extremely concerned because as a small rural municipality, our voice is often not heard. And UBCM is a place, especially in the past 3 years, where we've been able to really put forward a larger voice and put forward a larger footprint at that membership convention that happens each year.
Mhm.
And I'm concerned that by this committee allowing to put in, restrictions on, what resolutions make it to the floor, that it'll be smaller rural communities that are going to have the most impact to them going forward. So with that, I would like to put a recommendation, to this council that, staff be, permitted to draft a letter of concern regarding this extraordinary resolution ER1. Just about the potential impacts that this could have. UBCM is the only opportunity that many rural municipalities have to really bring forward concerns, and it's my concern, and I think it should be this community's concern, that our voices will no longer be heard in the same way. So can I get a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Johnston, thank you. Do you need any specific guidance on that, Mr. Malkinson, or is that broad enough to sort of let you really look into it?
I think we'll probably use Chair Hebert's background, you know, if we need any content there, and we'll work with yourself for signature. You know, it's a political thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's appropriate, it might be that you execute on it. But yeah, we'd be happy to draft something for your review.
Wonderful, thank you. Councillor
So trust me, so UBCM went to block voting a couple of years ago. I'm personally opposed to block voting. I find it just moves swaths of stuff and then pushes it up to the province, and the province just pushes it right back down on us with funding, sometimes funding. Anyways, there needs to be a balance struck between the litany of a million day-to-day issues, big issues, all these random things that have come about, and then somehow streamlining it. The point of UBCM, fundamentally in my view, is that it allows all these different municipalities to have a voice, to be represented, to advocate and lobby the province to move in one way or another. The interesting piece, though, functionally, is an extraordinary resolution did pass UBCM to amend the actual bylaws of UBCM to create this resolutions committee. So I'm curious as to what the hope is for the outcome, because as such, would it be calling for the overturning of this decision, or how would we actually functionally be proceeding with this?
My concern is the resolutions committee to apply filters to determine which resolutions may be included for consideration by the membership. It's that I find is extremely concerning. It's the filtering aspect, and a committee made up of a certain amount of members being allowed to say what is worthy of the floor and what isn't.
A smaller group of people deciding what we as elected officials, if it's worthy, and I know that's extremely difficult. So, anyways, this is definitely something in the works, and I am supportive saying, hey, that's an issue.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering what the specific outcome we're looking for would be to actually change it to something different. Would it be proposing potentially a different extraordinary resolution for next year to worm its way up through NCLGA to UBCM? Or how would we wish to proceed? Of course, we can express distress with this, but the vote happened.
From my understanding, I think that this is going to lead to a much larger conversation, just with the fact that Chair Hebert has also expressed concern regarding this. This did get deferred as Chair Hebert was not at the last PRRD meeting, so he will be speaking at it on our first meeting in November. I won't be surprised if us sending a letter of concern will then get us a letter back with some more language, kind of giving us a bit of a broader idea of what this committee is going to look like, which will then actually give us the information needed for us to decide from there what we're actually seeking. Because like right now, it's a very broad, hey, this is voted on, this is going on, but we don't actually know what this is other than we plan on creating a committee that's applying filters. So I think by us reaching out first, I think it's going to give us the information needed to send us in the right direction for what we are looking for. Does that make sense? I think this is a great first step, which will then lead us to, okay, now we've seen this is what we want out of this. And that makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Any other discussion regarding that? Okay, I'm gonna call the question then. All those in favor? And that is carried. Thank you so much for printing this for me, Mr. Malcolmson. I appreciate you. I did have it, I left it on my table with my notes and my beautiful talking points, and yeah, forgot it all there. The second thing, this afternoon, I attended a meeting regarding Bill 15. So this is the infrastructure bill being put forward by the province, where they would be able to create Category 1 and Category 2 regulations around municipal infrastructure by working with the resource sector and the First Nations authorities and local First Nation governments. Very interesting. I did ask a couple of questions that were extremely concerning to me. The fact that the province is saying that they can push through the permitting process by looking at infrastructure projects in a weighted manner makes me feel extremely concerned, because of course things that are going to make the province money are going to be far heavily weighted over things that are not, if I'm being frank. And I was quite frank while I was asking questions of the ministers that were present during the webinar I attended this afternoon. Not a lot of great things. I brought up concerns about this weight, Category 1, Category 2. I brought up concerns around transparency. Currently, they say that they're already working on a transparent framework. We all see how well that's going. It's not. I also brought up concerns regarding whether or not municipalities would have the right to appeal. So one thing that we are currently seeing within the Peace River Regional District is we have 2 proposed windmill projects that are happening around the Stewart Creek area. These are supported by the First Nations that are working with them. But in doing so, the Premier has also spoken about waiving the environmental regulatory systems that are normally in place. They're waiving those to get the projects done, and they're also waiving the cumulative effects impact study, just to fast track these windmill projects, even though the surrounding municipalities, the Peace River Regional District, and the community members that will be impacted have spoken out against it. So this is that issue that I'm talking about. When I spoke with the minister, I was told that currently there is no mechanism in Bill 15 for local governments to appeal what the province has done with the authority that is applied to this bill. I will continue to advocate as best as I can for our little village, but at this point in time I'm being told, like, well, we're just gonna do it anyway. So quite concerning that this seems like an extreme overreach of the province, which is nothing new. They've been overreaching for quite some time. But yeah, so keep an eyeball out for Bill 15. I've been shaking a couple of pineapple trees and banana trees, and as I said, I asked a couple of really tough questions, and many mayors were asking a lot of the same tough questions around transparency, around impacts, around resource sector. I found it quite interesting that the minister, so Bowen Law was on there, and Brittany Anderson was on there as well. And I found it interesting that they kept referring to the fact that the resource sector wasn't mentioned, but it didn't say resource sector, it said energy. And I love how they play with this. They're not the same thing, but they are. Resources are energy. And so they sort of just kept flopping back to, oh, well, like, we didn't name the resource sector in Bill 15, but they did name energy, which is the same thing if we're all being quite frank. So keep an eyeball out, because that's it's extremely concerning, and I'm definitely going to be looking into different things that we as a small rural municipality can do to elevate our voice through this process. So yeah, so there's a little bit of what I've been up to in the past week. I've just been shaking all the banana trees. It's been so much fun. Yes.
Well, if I may, simply, the federal and provincial governments should take a good look at their regulations and think about, wow, if we have to have sidetracks through the regulations, maybe we should look at the regulations instead of setting up new bureaucracies to fast track it.
They're not putting 90 bills on one legislator, that's how
Oh,
you
yeah.
create confusion.
But the other thing too is they're trying to actually get things done and create investor certainty. But why don't we do that for everyone instead of everyone plays by the same rules? Instead of now you have two sets of rules, and then they'll just get a litany of lobbying that will ask to get them on the special list. So we saw this on the federal level, we're seeing that play out, and now we're ready to see it on the provincial level, it sounds like.
Yeah,
So, hey,
not fun, I know.
Goose will be first on the list though, I
Totally,
guarantee.
for sure. We do leave an impression, that's what they say. Wonderful. All right, well, that is me. So, question period, we've already done that, we moved it up. So moving on to item number 16, to in-camera. Recommend the council moves to in-camera as per section 91A, C, E, K, and L of the community charter. Can I get a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Johnston. Discussion? All those in favor? And that is carried. Thank you.